I've been an Android user my whole entire life, and an iPhone has always seemed out of reach for me. But ever since I started making adult money, I had the funds to go ahead and buy one of these iPhone 15 Pro Max. And low-key though, this thing isn't as good as I thought it could be for a couple reasons, which we're gonna get into. But despite those reasons too, I still really do like the iPhone, and I probably don't regret getting this. Probably. So personally, there are 3 major flaws about the iPhone that I'm having a really hard time getting over. Flaw number 1 is going to be the display. So the first thing I noticed immediately when I got this phone is that the display on my iPhone 15 Pro Max sucks compared to my S21 Ultra. So here's the thing, I've been so used to how nicely saturated and contrasty the display looks on my Samsung that the iPhone just looks super pale and washed out in comparison. It kind of looks like someone put like a white filter on my screen, and it's really hard to overlook. It's super noticeable for me, and it just feels like I'm looking at a downgraded screen compared to an S21 Ultra. This thing is still a 120Hz OLED screen, so it's probably not that bad. But yeah, just compared to how good the display looks in Samsung, it is really noticeable, especially if you're coming from a Samsung to an iPhone. That's where you're going to really notice the difference. And yeah, it's just a major downgrade, and it really does hinder my user experience when using the iPhone. And the second thing that I really miss on a Samsung phone, or just any Android phones out there, is that the Google keyboard on Samsung or Android is completely different from the Google keyboard on iPhone. So yeah, the keyboard on the iPhone really sucks because you don't get any like cool features that you can use to type on. So for example, on the Google keyboard on my Samsung, they have these really cool emoticons that I use to like express myself when I text, or it just kind of helps me to not be a dry texter, and it makes texting fun. And you know, on the iPhone there are some, but it's just not the same. It looks super weird, and like it's not optimized at all. I don't know why it looks like that, and there's this other feature that is completely not on Apple devices or like Google keyboard for iPhone. Is that there's this thing called the clipboard feature where I can save like preloaded text, where I can just copy and paste it whenever I'm texting someone, and I use that like all the freaking time. You know, it saves me a lot of time because I can just copy and paste, and I can't do that on the iPhone. And yeah, it's just overall not as fun to use, you know, and I text people like all the freaking time, so it's really nice having a good keyboard. And the last thing that I really miss on my Samsung device, and this works for all Android phones I believe, and it's not available on the iPhones. I don't know why. This is such a brain dead feature in it, okay? And it's called back gestures. So for those people who don't know what back gesture is, I'm just gonna show you really quick so you can understand what I'm talking about. So yeah, come over here. Alright, so let me show you guys what back gesture is. So on my Samsung device, let's see, I want to look at my YouTube Studio stats again. So I'm going to the app, and then I click on the video, and we're scrolling, and we're kind of done. So all we have to do is just swipe, and we're back on the home screen. And then like, let's say we're done looking at stats, we want to leave the app, so all we have to do is swipe again, and we're out. And this works exactly the same for any app you use. So let's say I'm on YouTube, and we're scrolling, we find a video to watch, and then maybe this isn't the video we want to watch, so all we have to do is just swipe again. We're back on the home screen, and we want to leave the app, we swipe, we're out. So yeah, it's just a more natural and comfortable, you know, way to like go back. So yeah, for my iPhone, it's just not the same. We don't have the same back gesture. So if we click on an app, and we're like scrolling, we find our stats, we find the video that we want to look at the stats for, and then we want to go back. We can't swipe from the edge of the screen, you know, it just doesn't work. We have to manually find where the back arrow is, which is over here, to kind of go back, you know, and to leave the app, we have to swipe up. So that is kind of why I do prefer navigating through apps on my Samsung device, because of the back gesture. It's just so much more simple and comfortable and easy. So yeah, those are the stuff that I really do miss on my Samsung. And personally, if you're someone who's not in the Apple ecosystem, or you've never used an iPhone before, then it's gonna make more sense to go with the S23 Ultra or another Samsung flagship device, because the screen is just way too nice on Samsung side, and yeah, you just don't get that on the iPhones. And you know, and from my personal experience navigating through apps and things like that, it's going to be so much simpler on Android side. So yeah, just those two things combined, just a more user-friendly interface plus a better display, and it's just gonna make more sense to switch to the S23 Ultra compared to the 15 Pro Max. And it's also going to be like $500 cheaper, so you're saving a lot of money. You can probably use that money to buy like a really sick camera to beat the iPhone's camera. So yeah, Samsung did a very good job. Oh, my wrong phone. So yeah, Samsung did a very good job with the latest flagship device, and it's actually really impressive. But other than that, there's a lot of things that the iPhone simply does better than any Android phones out there. But I'd say the main thing that kind of drew me in towards the iPhone, and something that no Android phones out there would be able to do anytime soon, is that, you know, owning an iPhone kind of makes you look like you got your shit together, because like all the rich and famous and successful people in the world probably does own an iPhone, and there's just so much hype and attention around these products that it just kind of makes you look like a really cool person. So it's more like a flex thing. It's one of the main reasons why I wanted to switch and to try it out for fun. Other than that though, there's of course a lot of really cool features that the iPhone has that are just phenomenally better than Android. The first thing is definitely the software. This phone feels really smooth to navigate. The animations are really smooth and fluid. Everything kind of just blends together really nicely to give you a really seamless experience across the board. And yeah, the dynamic island is also really fun to use, you know, like seeing this thing move into different shapes and sizes and show you useful information, having apps pop out behind the dynamic island. Like that is really fun to watch, and I think it's a really cool feature. Alright, next thing that I really like about the iPhone is that this chip is really fast, which is not surprising because Apple has a really good track record of having just incredible chips throughout the years. And the good part about really powerful and fast chip is that not only are apps going to open and close a lot faster, it's going to make the phone feel snappier and more reliable, but it's also going to help increase the lifespan of your device, you know. It's going to help increase longevity and future proofing. So because of that, the lifespan of iPhone products tend to go for about 6 to 10 years compared to 3 to 6 years on Android devices, so that's a really good plus side to owning an iPhone, is that they last super long. And lastly, the camera on your iPhone is definitely going to be better, especially the iPhone's video quality. It is still the best in the industry for smartphone cameras. So if you are a content creator and you really like shooting videos with your smartphone, then the iPhone is probably going to be the way to go. Then yeah, it's really nice knowing that you have a really good, reliable camera in your pocket, and the fact that you could use your iPhone as webcam is really cool, because like the video footage coming out of this device is already so good, and having that integrated with your Discord or your streaming platform where you need a webcam, yeah, the video footage just looks super clean and cinematic. Well, it's not cinematic, but it looks really clean, and it's just miles better than any webcam that you could buy out there. So yeah, that is absolutely incredible, and that is also something that you would never get on the Android side. Okay, there is also some small stuff that's worth pointing out about the iPhone that are just simply better than Androids. It's a bunch of just cool, unique, interesting features that I have over here that I don't have on the Samsung. Number one is obviously going to be the action button, man. I love this button so much. I use it really often to launch Discord. That's one of the apps that I use really often, and super cool to just like having your phone go from like off to just looking at it and pressing the button, and just instantly Discord just launches. So yeah, I am very happy about this action button, and there's probably a lot more you can do with it. But as of right now, you know, this opening of this app is probably all I really need to use for it. Next is this really cool video call feature that I love messing around with. So I've been mentioning this a couple times, but I do video calls a lot. So sometimes like I do a little heart chase with my hands, and then like there's this feature where they kind of like summon hearts. They kind of summon hearts on the screen, and that's really fun to use. And then like sometimes I do this thumbs up thing, and they're like summon balloons and fireworks on the screen. So yeah, that is like really fun to have around, and like yeah, I think that's a super cool and interesting feature that that you have on the iPhone, and you just don't have that on this guy over here. So in conclusion, is it worth upgrading from the Samsung to an iPhone 15 Pro Max? In my opinion though, it's probably not worth the upgrade for most people. That's only because of how strong of a device the S23 Ultra is. The display is just so much better, and most people probably use their device for media consumption, so having a very nice, immersive, rich, and colorful display would probably benefit more people than like a stronger camera or just a slightly better chip. And to make matters worse or better, depending on which side you're on, the S23 Ultra does have the better battery life compared to the 15 Pro Max. So yeah, for those reasons, mainly just the display, I really do personally believe that the S23 Ultra would be better for most people. Yeah, but if you've been in the Apple ecosystem for a long time, you know, you own iPads and MacBooks and things like that, then it would make perfect sense to just get the iPhone. And the best part is that owning an iPhone just kind of makes you look super cool, and I think that's a really cool benefit as well. So that is all I have for you for today. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you want to check out the video why I decided to switch from Samsung to the iPhone, check out this video over here. And yeah, I hope you guys have a good day. Take care and peace.